So, this week our passage begins with a big therefore. Right? It's a big therefore. And it's a signal to us that the writer's now going to turn and move towards some more practical matters. So from chapter 1 through 10, the writer has been addressing a basic question, which is, so if Jesus is the Messiah, then why does he die a tragic death? That doesn't fit. And the response of the writer is, well, it's because Jesus is the perfect high priest. And so if Jesus offers himself as a sacrifice for the sins of the world, and this sacrifice actually saves because Jesus is fully human, understands our situation. At the same time, Jesus is of God, and you need God to save. Therefore, the writer says, let's do these three things. First, approach God in full assurance of faith. Second, hold fast to the confidence of our hope. Hold fast to the confession of our hope. And three, let us provoke one another to love and good deeds. So the message here is God saved the world through Jesus Christ. Therefore, faith, hope, and love. Nice and tidy. Neat and tidy. Isn't that nice? So we'll spend our time this morning going through these three directives that the writer offers. Our first one is approach God in full assurance of faith. One main message of Hebrews is God is for us, that we are not alone in our suffering, that God is with us. And the great story here is that God creates the world, sin enters into the world, human beings are caught in this brokenness, in this web of sin. They can't get out no matter what they do. And God doesn't just let the world spin there and say, oh, what a shame. It was so pretty when I created it. No, too bad. But instead, God enters into the world in Jesus Christ to restore it, to save it. Brings so much divine life into the world through Jesus that it neutralizes what sin has done and brings the world back to God's self. And we say the same thing happens in our individual lives. As we are caught in brokenness and caught by the power of sin, God does not look at us and say, oh, what a shame. They were doing so well. But instead, God approaches us, pursues us to offer comfort and strength, that we might find the strength to walk through our struggle, that God finds us helping us open a door that we may need to open, that we can turn and go a different direction, or God finds us to help us deal with the problems of brokenness and sin, that we might let go the sins that we need to let go of and start new, or that we may even find a way to forgive those who have harmed us and go in a different direction. The writer is encouraging the congregation to ask for help from God. Don't be afraid to ask for help from God. And we're encouraged to do the same thing. Over the last few years, I found myself in times of struggle and suffering and asking God for help. And what I found was help. Now, you may be saying, oh, yeah, right, Pastor, whatever. And 10 years ago, I would have said, oh, yeah, right, Pastor, whatever. But this has been my experience. Now, has the help been exactly what I was needing, exactly what I was looking for and expecting? Sometimes. Other times, no. But it was enough to turn me a little bit in a helpful direction, to give me some hope and encouragement. Now, this has been a growing edge for me to ask God for help. I imagine it can be a growing edge for us, too. But I encourage you, be courageous enough to approach God in full assurance of faith and ask for help in times of struggle. You are not alone. Now, the second directive is to hold fast to the confession of our hope. And to begin this discussion, I'm going to play a song, and it's on this blue sheet in your bulletins. Some of you have been alarmed by the first line of this song. Don't be alarmed by the first line of the song. Continue on past the first line of the song. It's not the one I'm focusing on today. This is a song by Sufjan Stevens, who's become my favorite artist, and he's a Christian who is a musician, but at the same time, he's not a Christian musician. So his songs have religious overtones, but they're not explicitly Christian. This comes from a CD where all the songs were actually inspired by biblical verses or stories. So this one is inspired by Isaiah 55:12, if you want to look it up sometime. But the line that's important here for me and for this discussion is, I'm still applied to what you are, which means to me saying to God, I still believe in you. I'm still with you. I'm still holding fast. So I'm going to play this and then we'll talk about it.
If I am alive this time next year, will I have arrived in time to share? And my eye is about as good